you're training six days a week. If you want to train hard, you need to recover harder. That way you can keep yourself in the game because you don't want any setbacks, any injuries, because that's just not going to help you evolve.
What is up, everyone? Feels good to be back on another episode of the Hardwood Rod podcast, and we're gonna kick things off right where we left off, and we're gonna be talking with Jesus Padilla of Root Healing, good buddy of mine. And recently I went to go visit him, and we actually did a live body work session. So we're filming this podcast as he's doing his work on my body, on some of the aches I have on my legs especially. So should be an interesting one. And some of the things that we'll be talking about are muscle recovery, adaptation, some of the things that you can do to be active and going back to the fundamentals, right? So sometimes we overthink things, and maybe just going back to the basics or some of the things that we need in our body that sometimes we're not reading the signals correctly. So that's one of the questions that I want you listeners to kind of be mindful of as you're listening to this podcast, and not just for this podcast, but maybe throughout, as you're maybe working out, working, doing your day-to-day chores. The question that you kind of want to be thinking about is, are you listening to your body? Is your body giving you signals, signs about, hey, it's either it's time to do things differently, or maybe it's time to increase the intensity on whatever you're doing. But at the end of the day, we want to be as healthy and as fit as possible, because that's just what the doctor ordered. So in general, it's just overall good for our mental and physical health. So we'll get into this episode, and hopefully you guys could get something out of it. So hope you guys enjoy, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace. All right, we're live here. We're getting a on location massage here with Jesus Padilla from Root Healing. So we're getting a sports massage, right, Jesus?
Right. So Rodrigo, you've been here before. He's already a veteran here. But
a veteran? I don't know about a veteran. But
he knows what he's getting himself into.
Yeah, we had Jesus already. If you guys already recognized on last season, earlier this year, we kind of introduced what he does. Muscle wizard. He's gonna do his thing. So today, we're gonna do a little bit of the same, but we're gonna kind of dive into muscle recovery, and as far as what are some of the issues that that you could probably be proactive about, and see what before you come in, and what are some of the things that you could prevent from any injuries, or if you're working out like me, I'm doing working out 6 times a week,
right?
So that takes a toll on your body, the muscles.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into all that. So we're gonna let Jesus kind of do his thing, and while we're at it, tell us just a little bit about yourself for some of the people that don't know you.
For sure. So my name is Jesus Padilla, and I do sports massage. I'm located in the LA area, and I've been doing this for quite a long time now, and I'm at the point in my life now though that I can do it full time. So that's great. This is what I dedicate my time to the craft, and I love what I do, and it's just a passion that I cannot explain. It's just something that I enjoy doing. But we're gonna do a live body work session, so this is gonna be interesting because I'm gonna be talking and working at the same time. It's gonna just be a natural, natural flow.
Yeah, it's just a regular session, man.
Right.
You're gonna be hearing me kind of in pain sometimes, but it's good pain.
Right. No, and you made a good point about you're training six days a week. If you want to train hard, you need to recover harder. That way you can keep yourself in the game, because you don't want any setbacks, any injuries, because that's just not going to help you evolve. But what helps you evolve is, trial and error. And, we go through injuries and we get setbacks, but then we eventually say that, hey, we got to change. Something's got to change. One
exactly.
of the great things that you can do, I'm gonna get started on this
Oh,
squat right
go
here.
ahead, man. Do your thing.
Yeah. So one of the best things.
I just did legs too, by the way.
Oh
so.
man, so you're a little sore. So you're gonna feel it probably twice as much.
Yeah. So I hit legs on Monday and today.
So you're hitting them twice a week.
Yeah, man. I always, legs. My legs are always my weakest point, man. So we gotta.
Put in overtime on them.
Yeah, and I think this is my first time getting on my legs too. I might scream like a little bitch right now. So what's some of the things that like, as far as if you're working out your legs more than you're kind of pushing it to the limits. What's some of the things that I can do or anybody could do listening to that they could probably benefit from, as far as obviously coming with you, but like something that you could do
outside.
At home.
Yeah. I mean, I think a key thing here is intuition, like listening to your body. It's good to train. I think most people get it right. Like, they're drinking their water, they're eating healthy, but then they hit a point where they're not listening to their body and they're overtraining, or they're doing workouts that don't properly suit them or benefit them, at least at that point in their life.
Right.
You hear it all the time, people with lower back pain, and they keep doing back squats, and that could be further compressing their discs and causing other issues. So it could be easy as like changing the workout. The thing is, we get stuck on this traditional pattern of like, you have to back squat, you have to do bench press, like you have to follow this and that. And in reality, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of different workouts you can do or movements you can do to train muscles in your body. But we get stuck on some, workouts that can be pretty harsh on the joints.
Yeah.
So there's other ways of training, through movement. And I think the key here is listening to your body and seeing what is not like hurting you or damaging you. Because if you keep getting setbacks doing that workout, then maybe your body's telling you to take a step back and focus on strengthening those core muscles that are involved in the movement.
Yeah. What's like an alternate, you would say, workout or movement? Like, let's say if somebody has like a busted back, right? Like herniated disc, you name it, right? Bulging disc, whatever. What's something that they could do to like, because I mean, that I know of, I think there's no really cure, right? As far as just let it like you got to rest and just let it recover. But as far as without needing any surgery, what's some of the things that like stretching wise or like any workouts?
So think about like disc herniation or bulging disc. There's different levels, and everyone has like a different reason why they herniated their disc. So different things will trigger. So you have to find what doesn't trigger it. So different movements, like some people cat-cow, they can do it, and some people they can't. Some people can do glute bridges, some people can't. So you gotta just kind of see. I mean, obviously you would need to work with like a physical therapist, someone who would prescribe you these workouts. But if you don't have access to that, then you have YouTube, and you just watch these videos. There's different things you can do and see what works for you. I think an important thing too is people need to learn how to research as well. Educate themselves on the muscles that they're working with. But it's also like trial and error. You got to try and see what works for you. Like me personally, when it comes to like injuries, I don't like to put ice. I like to put heat. And there's been new research showing that it helps with blood flow and regeneration. But we've kind of been stuck on that rest, ice, compression, elevation. The ice method.
Right.
And
so you're saying like if you got any pain or swelling, maybe
try out different things. Try out ice if that works for you, great. Try out heat if heat works for you, then great. The thing is like it's not one shoe fits all.
Right.
You gotta just use your intuition. Get educated advice, but at the end of the day, you choose.
Right. So, and today, one of the things that I was talking to you about is like, I am kind of, pushing the needle a little bit on, 6 days out of the week. I'm working out a different muscle, right? So, that kind of takes a toll in a way where it's like, I'm not taking 2 or 3 days out of the week to rest, right? I only have one day, but what do you think about that? Am I doing it right, or what do you think about that? Because there's different opinions about working out too much versus like, okay, you're working out a different muscle, so it's not necessarily like, oh shit, oh, damn, I felt that one. It's not like you're working out the same muscle, right, every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, when it comes to training, obviously you got to honor rest. But one thing that's I think really good is active rest. It's like, you have a rest day, right? But instead of just chilling and sitting all day, which can, set you back, because stagnation and just like, being stuck or still is not good for the body. We need to stay moving. So active rest is like doing things that are going to benefit your body and heal your body. So mobility, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of stretching, things like that are just going to help out overall. Now, the amount of days you train just depends on what you're training for, At the end of the day, your body's going to adapt to whatever you do. And that's why humans are pretty amazing, because anything you put your mind to, if you stay consistent and persistent, eventually you will accomplish that goal. And so if you want to train 6 days a week, eventually your body's going to adapt. It's going to be fine, as long as you're doing the proper recovery steps. You're working on mobility, you're stretching, you're making sure you're hydrated, getting all the minerals that your body needs, great nutrition. But you gotta think where I'm at now is like, I don't want just strength. I want strength through movement. Like I want mobility, I want freedom. I don't want to just be stuck doing a bicep curl and that's all I can do. Like I want to be able to move that strength through different angles, just overall just a better, use the machine because humans are machines, you just got to tune them up.
Right. So for you, how do you approach your workouts nowadays?
My workouts have just changed a lot, and I think everything I learned in between, I took a little bit of it. And what I do now is I hybridize everything. So I'll do some calisthenics, like body weight workouts.
Right.
I'll still do my pull-ups, my push-ups. I keep those fundamentals, and then
you can't go wrong with the basics, man.
No, yeah. And they just give you a different type of strength, a more useful strength. It translates better into real life, like jumping over stuff.
Yeah. Damn.
Climbing.
That shit.
This is really tight. So we're working on his left quad, and the lateral side is pretty tight.
What does that mean for the audience there?
The lateral side is the outside. Yeah, so I wish I could show you on here.
Damn, I felt that one. That one was gnarlier there. Fuck. Oh, damn.
Yeah, the lateralis is pretty gnarly on most people. Most people are like quad dominant for the most part.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I'm hamstring dominant, but because I messed up my posture sitting incorrectly for many years, and I got what's called posterior pelvic tilt. So my body was jacked and I was using the wrong muscles. Like I was out of balance, but it doesn't matter like what type of posture you have, like what patterns you've built over your life, you can always reverse as long as, you put that time and more back into it.
Right.
So like I spent a lot of years sitting on a computer, playing video games, just jacking up my back. I wasn't even sitting on a computer chair. It was like some really bad chair, man. But you just adapt. Just like, fuck it. Either I complain or I stand up. And it's not good. You know, everything has to be ergonomic. It has to be, has to feel good. Otherwise, you're just damaging your body. And that's what pain is. Pain is a receptor. It's your nervous system communicating with you, letting you know that something is wrong. And sometimes we choose to act on it, and sometimes we just stay in that cycle of just repetition.
Oh yeah, man. That's why, you know, I sit down for work all day, but I try to kind of move around, and you know, the good thing is that, you know, I get to work from home, right? So I get to kind of stand up, do, you know,
right.
If I gotta pick up the kids or whatever, I was in motion. But I used to be just sitting down mostly, man. Until I later got a standing desk, and that really helped me out.
That's good.
Part of my back.
Change it up.
No, yeah. Nah, but yeah, muscle recovery, man. And I know I'm gonna learn it the hard way one of these days too, cause.
I mean, you're kind of learning it right now, because I tell people, like, the less like you do for yourself, like recovery wise, it'll show up on the day of body work. So you'll feel more pain if you know yourself, like, oh, I haven't been stretching, I haven't been doing so well. Then obviously the session is going to be quite more painful,
right?
Because your fascia is just holding on to that tension of just stagnation.
Yeah, right now my right foot, I'm like trying not to move it a lot because I feel like it's gonna freaking, well, I got un calambre, I'm gonna freaking
a cramp,
leg cramp. Leg cramp on deck, guys.
It happens sometimes, but just make sure you're properly hydrating yourself. Drink plenty of water.
I eat my banana every day.
You need your potassium.
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, man. Like when I came in the last time, I had a back issue. Like, damn, man. I even asked you. It was like, damn. I think this is like, I don't know if I have a freaking bulging disc or whatever.
Right.
Because it was like, I had to like always take breaks and like get on my big ass pillow and just like lay, facing down. Because damn, man.
You get fatigued.
Yeah, but I haven't had that since I came with you, man.
Nice.
You are the muscle wizard, dude. So what has it been? This last 2 years with everything, with the C word. Like, have you seen people kind of have more issues because they haven't been active, or have they? Like, what's your perspective on like people's kind of like how they're taking care of their bodies lately?
Right. I think it's like a 50 split.
Yeah, because you see it firsthand, man.
Yeah.
You're on the front lines, and you see like people's health and their especially like older people and their joints, man.
Right. It's just life choices. At the end of the day, it's life choices, and some people make different choices than others. And I mean, I wish everyone would make the right choice, but that's how we learn.
What's some of the the choices that you think?
Well, some people, like, during the COVID times, I guess they maybe had not low self-esteem, but they had a low vibration, fear, paranoia, anxiety.
I think everybody had that.
Right. So that drops your vibration, and then you don't feel motivated to train, and everyone has different outlets, and one of those outlets, that's pretty commonly available is food. So that's an addiction in its own.
Yeah, stuck at home and
yeah, man, just eating munchies.
Damn.
And then the gyms were closed, so not a lot of people, would go, and not everyone went to the park or train calisthenics at home. But some people found YouTube though. I'm sure they found a lot of videos on there.
Yeah, well, I think that's that kind of started, or not started, but it kind of blew up a little bit.
Like the at-home workout?
At home, but
P90X.
Calisthenics too, because everybody just like, okay, what am I gonna do, man? Like, push-ups, pull-ups.
Yeah.
Those were the go-tos, man.
Those are always fundamentally great.
Yeah, but I've been listening to, and reading a lot of articles on like just just overall like just building just basic strength, but like you know doing 100 push-ups a day, man, it's like really beneficial. Like
Right.
walking is more beneficial than even running. There, like that's what I've read. So it's like, it makes sense because I don't know if you deal with a lot of runners, but they probably come up with like a more like issues with their knees and
Yeah.
right because
There's some like deterioration.
some people say it's like running is not even good for you, man. Like, but
I
think
mean,
it's
then you see some people that they're running like even at older age, like doing great. But it goes back to again intuition, listening to your body. Like, is this feels good?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, let me try something else for a bit. Let me go cycling, or let me
Yeah.
find a different movement until my body feels great, and then maybe I'll try running again. And if I feel the same way with running, then maybe that's like a sign,
Right.
But let's get your chest. This
Oh
is a
man,
fun one.
this is the fun one, guys.
No,
Right here.
this one's tight. So you guys gonna get some ASMR right now?
My chest and my triceps are my bread and butter, man. I call it the bread and butter.
Man, I have like the worst chest genetics. Like,
Do I could do like I said, like I try to do 100 push-ups a day, and I out of everything I get a more better pump on my chest, and then
doing those?
my chest I get like
Oh yeah, you're getting a bunch of blood flow.
I
flowing in there.
don't have to work out for like months, but if I start working out on my chest, that's the first one that always gets the pump.
Yeah,
And
for me it takes
triceps.
forever to grow my chest.
Dips, triceps, that's the money right there.
Weighted.
Yeah, that's what I started doing weighted dips too.
They get you really strong. But then it could also just hurt your joints sometimes with the elbow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
You
tension.
think I should wear some wrist wraps with those, or what do you think?
I mean, if anything, train your wrists, you get them stronger.
Let me
But
tell
if
you
you feel like you're not stable, but I think the thing about like straps here to protect you, but then also like say weightlifting belts and stuff like that, like you should be able to do that with your body. Your body needs to be connected to absorb all that. If you're
Right.
using a weightlifting belt, then it means that your body's disconnected or you're not strong enough to do that move.
Right.
So if you're in pain, you shouldn't be, doing all that. But
Right.
as it goes to like the belts and stuff, or accessories. I'll tell you, like my wrists were pretty bad for a long time. I was doing calisthenics, trying to do handstands, and I would wear the wrist wraps. Still would help, but then it's like it doesn't. I can't ignore the fact that shit, my body hurts. My wrists hurt when I do this.
No, well, I mean, dude,
Yeah.
what you're doing right now is a freaking workout for your forearms, man.
Right.
Right? I'm pretty sure, like,
It's
your forearms are probably the strongest.
I have pretty good grip, but I kid you not. I do get fatigued sometimes too.
No, yeah, dude. I mean, it's
A lot of wear and tear.
it's you know how they say, don't work out like the same muscle like every day, or like don't overdo it, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get muscle fatigue, right?
Great balance.
But it's a two-sided argument, right? Where I listen to, where they say, well, if you take a step back and you look at some of the people that specialize in a certain type of work, right? So you could say maybe farmers, like picking, crops, right? You notice them, and like you compare it to plumbers too, they use a lot of their forearms.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, man, like they got some big forearms, man. Well,
Right.
Just take a look at what they do,
They're always twisting.
Yeah. So
turning.
people that use
something.
their legs a lot, right? So it's like you said, like, your body adapts too, and then it becomes the mold to whatever you do, right, for a living.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's every profession, every craft has its own demands. So
Yeah.
you're gonna use different muscles.
No, yeah.
It's like roofers, man. That's harsh. Be out there in the sun and you're doing all that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of labor. So imagine how their bodies feel afterwards too.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Like, and I think it's the same for us. But you look at a lot of animals, or especially like reptiles, amphibians, how they adapt to their environment and they start blending into like where they live, right? Or just also how they eat, right? Like they
Right.
start changing into what they eat, and it's just the way nature is. It's funny, but that's the same thing for us. Like
Yeah.
how we go about our day every day, right? How we intake and like just all the things around us, man. Like that's who we are, right?
Working on the forearms right now. On his flexors.
What's one of the toughest part of the body that it's hard for you to kind of like get into as far as
To release?
yeah.
I mean, it really depends, but traps can be hard sometimes. When you got someone with like rock hard traps and they're just, you could be there for a long time. I mean, every muscle is kind of stubborn in their own way, to be honest. Man. It just really depends what you're coming in for. For some people, it could be like the chest.
Shit.
So we're working on his
Okay.
extensors now.
I'm trying to be a tough guy here and just
These are pretty tight. Probably from all the work on this computer, filming, holding a camera, operating a drone with video.
damn.
You're
dude,
always
that's-
using your hands.
That's one thing. You know what? Actually, you know,
Your hand out, right?
that's one thing. It's a funny thing you bring that up. I've like this past summer, I've been kind of like on like hibernation mode, man. Chilling. Like I haven't really, as we're talking right now, man. I still haven't even dropped my feature film, and that's something where I just took a break, man. I just like, let me just take summer off, man.
Yeah. You gotta just make sure your energy's right. You're an authentic person, and you want to make sure that your energy is right when you're shooting it, because that transcends.
Yeah.
So you're getting this break. Everyone deserves a break, man. It's just that we don't honor breaks. We see it like growing up también in the Latino community. We see it as laziness.
Yeah.
Oh, no seas huevón, ponte las pinches pilas, Like, hell no. That's a toxic mentality too. It's good to some extent, when you need, discipline or whatever. But then you hit a point where it's like, now you can't be toxic to yourself either.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah, exactly. I love, if anybody's ever been in my office, they know I love to talk. And,
Oh yeah, man. We gotta feed the people, man. So this is your class, dude.
Yeah, I think everyone should at least try sports massage once in their life. If it's with me, then great, and if it's not with me, either way, great. There's a bunch of dope healers out there, and just use your intuition always. But try a sports massage. I know it might be a little intimidating. Sometimes it could be a little uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, this is tension that you've built up in your body, and you can either leave it in your body or you can help release that. And when you release it, it gives you more strength and it gives you more mobility and flexibility to continue strengthening. This is just that constant battle of releasing tension and then healing and bringing strength. But that's how training is too. Like you can be motivated one day, but then the next day you're not, and that's when the discipline kicks in. And because you associate that feeling of that negative feeling, and you don't want to go back there. Like hell no, I need to I need to persist. I need to move forward because I don't want to be back in that cycle again. It's just evolution.
Oh, damn, man.
That was good. We just worked on his suboccipitals. This area you generally holds a lot of tension. It's at the base of the skull.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, these are the suboccipitals. That's what they're called.
I can't even say that, man.
And it's located right at the base of the spine. It's like 2 little dips. And when this area gets tight, sometimes you'll get headaches and migraines near the front of the head, face, eyeball region. Let's try this out.
Damn. Whew. Okay.
As we collect ourselves and
All right. Let's see how we're gonna.
see how we're gonna do this. This is all pure experimentational. So if you're still tuned in, thank you. Appreciate your presence.
Is this good right here?
That's good. Perfect. Is the mic good?
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
It's gonna be like.
So right now, I'm facing down. So
Yep.
my favorite part is the back, cause I've always had issues with my back, whether it be knots or just like lower back pain, but
Right.
I haven't had any issues with that. But once in a while, like 2 or 3 times a year, I get neck cramps, and that's just because if it's not sitting down 6-8 hours a day, it's just stress.
Right. It's stored up tension.
Yep.
Yeah, I can relate too. Growing up, I always had like lower back issues, and it goes back to just my habits and my choices, like sitting down, playing all the video games, not really focusing on strengthening my core, like little fundamental stuff like that. But you learn as you go, and then also injuries. I dislocated my right leg playing soccer. Had a pretty bad mountain biking accident where I hit pretty much a boulder and I flew. I did a front flip and I landed right on my right hip, same side as the leg I dislocated.
Oh shit.
And, that throws you off. And now you're set on a journey like, oh crap, now you got to fix this. Naturally.
You messed up your hip?
I was off for a long time for sure. But then you start releasing and strengthening. And
What's some good exercises for your hips?
I mean, you definitely want to strengthen your hip flexors. So like your psoas, iliopsoas. Although basically you want to have good strength in the center of your body, because that's where a lot of it gets disconnected, like with the core and the hip flexors. Like people are strong, like because they do pull-ups or they'll do lat pull-downs and things like that, but then they don't really have like a strong connection, like a deep, strong core connection with their body. So I can't think of the names of the workouts right now because we used to do a lot during calisthenics, but it basically involved us sitting and then we're pretty much lifting our legs over an object back and forth. I can't recall the name right now, but anything that involves, or like what I would do back then too, I would use the Stairmaster. And on the Stairmaster, what I'll do, I'll skip a step and then I'll kip up. I don't explain it. I bring my knee up and then I hold and I connect, and then I use my balance as well, and then I bring it down and I just repeat. So it's a lot of it's also strengthening like your balance and your one-legged strength as well. Lifting your leg up and then holding and then connecting with your core. You're basically just trying to create stability. And why not use all your tools in your body? You have so many muscles that are working together. And oftentimes we're just really imbalanced. We have some muscles overworking, some muscles underworking. Our fascial lines are all jacked up. And just a recipe for disaster, injury waiting to happen.
Yeah. Another good kind of type of training is that flow movement.
Which one? Sorry.
Flow movement.
Oh, flow movement. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just your body, right? So actually one of these workouts I did as a warm-up. It's like, I could be wrong the way you pronounce it, but it's like a 2-step squat, like where you do side kicks. So you just go to, to your side or your, right or left, and you kind of do a 2-step, like you drag your foot, and then you do squats. And then you just like kick, with either your left leg or your right leg. And that's a good workout thing for your hips right there. They're a bitch though.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta find, honestly, what it is like you gotta find a workout. You gotta train all the muscles in your body. Get like an image of your muscles and start getting acquainted with it. When you train, look at them, learn them. You don't have to learn their name, just like connect with them. And eventually, you're gonna be just a body weight beast. And I'm still on that path, strengthening every day. Cause there's, man, like people who could planche. I don't know if you've ever seen that calisthenic move. People go planche, full planche.
Oh,
That's
man.
insane amount of strength, like to do, or just any type of gymnast.
Yeah, from like a push-up position to like a
Yep.
handstand, and then going back down.
Like pressing and stuff. Yeah.
You know who's I was kind of watching a lot of is during COVID times was freaking Chris Heria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
More like a mainstream calisthenics guy.
Yeah, the 10X guy.
Yeah.
That guy is crazy.
He's pretty shredded.
But yeah, pull-ups, and just basic, push exercises, like for your body weight.
We used to do backflips. That was an excellent core workout. You bet your sweet ass you're gonna engage everything to get that. I mean, honestly, you just jump and tuck. That's all it is. But it's the mind. The mind gets in the way. It becomes a mind game.
Dude,
Because of your fear.
I have never done a backflip.
And you have the physical ability to do so. It's just,
Like you said, mind games,
I don't
man.
recommend it.
Mind games.
Yeah. Because I used to do it on the concrete. No issue.
Yeah. What happened?
No fear. And then one time I did a foolish decision. I was doing backflip burpees in a Saturday morning class. Like this is like, and Saturday morning is the day you go like just kind of like chill. I get a little hit workout, but it's not like meant for you to go crazy. It's like a rest.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I had a lot of energy that morning, I guess, and I was doing the backflip burpees, and on one of those, I guess I was like too tired already, and I still hit one more, and my body didn't really connect. So I landed on my neck pretty much. Like I put my arm out, but still, it sucked, right? So I was like kind of spooked, but I was like, nah, I gotta hit it again, because if I don't hit it, I'm gonna be scared.
Yeah.
So I gotta get it out of my system. And I do it again, and sure enough, the same exact thing happened. I landed on my neck again, and I was like, after that point, I just straight up became traumatized. Like I wouldn't even do it, not even on the springboard.
Wow.
Yeah. So honestly, though, it was for good reason, because it's not worth it. It was only like, for ego. Like if you're doing, I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it's a little adrenaline.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna continue doing that, it's like for videos and stuff like that. But it's just too dangerous. Unless you're, that's what you love and it's your hobby. But it's not my hobby. It was a good workout. I saw it was a good workout, but
dude,
it's not sustainable.
This guy from my one of my films, and you know who I'm talking about, Mark. He does backflips, but I don't know. I told him not to stop doing these because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But he does backflips, but he lands on his head.
Oh, on the grass, cement?
Yeah, it could be grass or whatever, but
yeah.
he does it and then he just jumps back up with his head.
What? Like on purpose?
Yeah, he does it like that, like it's part of a movement. I'm like, dude, Mark, stop doing these, man, because he wanted to do it for the film.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, after this, you're done, dude. No more of those, man, because you're gonna get injured.
He's like super skilled, though, huh?
Yeah, but that dude's crazy.
He's only getting better and better.
Yeah, but yeah, man, like backflips, it's one of those things, right? It's like even doing handstands, right? It's like you feel you're gonna fall down, but it's like a mind game.
I mean, handstands, unless you're doing it over like a bridge or like something stupid, where you're taking that risk. It's pretty safe, unless the only thing you do is you hurt your wrist pretty much, or fall right on your head if you don't have strength. But there's no reason why you should be trying to handstand in the first place if you haven't trained for it. Do it on the wall. Build up some tricep strength, some delt strength, shoulder strength overall.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we like to rush. We want to try it, and then we know we're not ready for it, and then that's how we get injured. Setbacks instead of
Yeah.
focusing on what we can do.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to get my mojo back, man. It's been almost, I'd say 2 months, but I'm really back into it, kind of. I'm on and off, Last year in the summer, and then just I fall off. So it's about being consistent.
Of course, that's the name of the game.
And how long can you be consistent for, right? It's like, I mean,
or not even just that, but if you fall off,
yeah, and I mean,
how quickly you're gonna bounce back.
Yeah, like right now, I'm kind of, like, all right, I'm a morning guy. Actually, look at, I'm not a morning guy, but to work out, I'm a morning guy.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, you don't like working out at night.
Yeah, and then especially because it's more people, and then I got family, and then I got things. Rather just take care of it in the morning, man. You feel better, anyways.
Nighttime is for people who have time.
Yeah.
They're just there to chill.
Yeah.
Not chill. I mean, they're there to train, but they're not really in a rush. It's just like.
Yeah, I feel like, and you could argue, but I mean, the best time to work out in general is the morning. That's just
I would
my
say
opinion.
so. Like, I mean, it could be morning, afternoon, like anywhere where your energy is the highest. And studies show that your energy is the highest when the sun is at its highest point. So when the sun starts going down, the moon starts coming out. That's like our cue to go to bed, which is like hats off to people who do like graveyard and stuff like that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way my body can adapt to that. I've worked in jobs where I had to wake up at 3 a.m. and I just remember just being miserable every day. Never adapted to it.
No,
It
yeah.
probably doesn't help that I enjoy the job either, but it's just not for me.
Oh yeah, our bodies are meant for that, man. To once the sun goes down, it's like, all right. Yeah, our digestive system has a lot to do with our health, and it just kind of not shuts down, but it knows that okay, it's time for to recover and
Right.
get ready for the next day. So your digestive system is not meant to be working while you're sleeping.
Exactly. You're meant to be recovering.
Yeah.
Because digestion, it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, and speaking of that, man, I'm in the middle of also bulking too, right? Like not crazy, but I'm trying to get another 5 pounds.
Right.
Another 5-8 pounds.
Up in your calorie intake a bit.
Yeah. So, at the same time, you're trying new things and see what works, and
Just keep it clean. I mean.
yeah.
'Cause
So
there's a lot of stuff out there, man. I'll tell you, I don't trust, and I used to take it. I remember when I was younger, and I wanted to get big and all that, and I was taking that mass builder stuff. Like it's like protein powder, but it's like a ridiculous amount of protein. And your body can't even synthesize that much at once.
yeah.
So you're just like deteriorating your organs.
Yeah, so I stopped using whey protein, man, for that reason, man,
It's
because
too harsh.
it's one,
Digestion.
it's a lot of protein that I feel like at one point, I think when you're younger, when I was like in my 20s, young 20s, I think I could take it, but now, man, I don't even drink. I think I just drink. Actually, no, I don't even deal with a lot of dairy, but the whey protein was like just hard for me to digest, man.
Yeah, I get you.
And I just switched to plant based, and and like I mentioned, man, I'm trying to bulk up a little bit. So you're trying to take a whole different approach. So your
Right.
body's adapting, and at the same time, I'm trying to kind of, get my calories in for the day. And, one thing I did a big no-no was eat before I went to bed. And, I was trying to catch up. And I was like, all right, let me put in my rest of the calories.
But
Cause
if you think, oh yeah,
So-
because you're bulking.
so it fucked me up, man. Like for 3 days I was bloated,
All
gassy.
groggy.
And I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is not normal." I was started like, "Damn, you know what? Let me see if I didn't fuck up my digestive system."
Right.
I didn't, I don't want to get no freaking what is it? What is that thing where it's like a disorder and shit?
Well, like gastritis or like irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah, that one.
There's a lot. Leaky gut, candida,
IBS.
IBS.
Yeah, so irritable bowel syndrome.
And it all goes back to like, what you ingest. See how your body reacts to it. If you're eating cauliflower and broccoli and you get gassy, and that's your body telling you like, nah, we don't like this.
Even beans? Damn.
Beans? I mean, I guess it depends, man. Like for me, I honestly can't do lentils. I could do beans, like black beans, whatever, any type of bean, to be honest, but not lentils for some reason. Like my body doesn't like, it rejects it. Corn gets me really inflamed as well, like tortilla chips.
Really, huh?
Yeah, so. And of course, I always eat excessive amounts.
Yeah, well,
when I'm indulging.
well, yeah,
But I try to keep it as healthy as possible, but you slip here and there.
yeah, man. So it's, as you're getting older, and I'm hitting, 35.
Right.
Pre-40s. It's like your welcome party to 40, and like you start seeing and listening to like different signals from your body. It's like, nah, man, you can't do this anymore. And it's like, shit. You're not, I can't be eating fucking 10 tacos from Jack in the Box anymore,
Yeah.
Shit.
Alrighty, man. We're all set.
Damn, that one went by quick.
Yeah. Well, that was
Damn. Feel good.
that was exactly 45.
Sore,
maybe
sore,
48.
but in a good way. Woo! Would you like to be on the podcast? Got something to talk about? Make sure to head over to the website at hardwoodraw.com. Leave your name and the topic you'd like to discuss, and I'll add you to the calendar. If you guys enjoyed that episode, make sure you check out the other episodes and make sure to subscribe, like, and share. This is Hardwood Rod. Peace.